All right, first time we're looking at the 2024 Chevrolet Equinox EV. The Equinox is definitely our most popular SUV that we offer here at Chevrolet. So naturally, the progression to add the electric vehicle variant only made sense. And it looks totally different from a regular gas-powered Equinox, where you get a lot more of this aerodynamic that comes through here. I love what they do with EVs in the grille aspect, where you get more of a textured look up in the front bumper, but you still want to allow some air venting that's going to come in through here, because naturally there's a battery, there's going to be some motors, you still need venting that will come in. So you can see upper and lower grille is still hollowed out a little bit, but again, on this RS that we're looking at, because it shows an RS here, you can see you get this design cue where from the Chevrolet bow tie you got an LED light that goes all the way across from wheel to wheel. Really, by the looks of it, kind of gives it this RoboCop look when you're talking about a design. And then your headlights are lower into the bumper. We've seen this trend a lot lately in SUVs. It just brings it down, so that's why when you have your high intensity, lights, they're not pointing right into opposite driver's view. So the side profile, obviously, they're using this little moniker, the 3 bars of the Ultium platform, and it kind of moves into a lot of the things Chevrolet. We've seen it with the Blazer, we've seen it, the difference with the Equinox here, and also with the Silverado EV. Any E is going to get this little blue moniker. I think that's, just ties it all in. The RS that we have, it's a 21-inch rim. Now, back in the day, that would have been something enormous on a pickup truck, and now we're putting 21-inch rims on an Equinox. But you can tell just by the wheel arch, that kind of fills in, gives it a really nice profile, athletic stance at the same time. But when we come up to the side, again, talking about wind resistance and aerodynamics, what they've done here is the handles are flush mounted, as opposed to something that we've always seen where they stick out a little bit. So I got the key in my hand, and when I unlock it, then they just pop out all the way around the vehicle. And it's pretty simple. You just kind of pull it and it's gonna open up. So the RS theme continues with your red accents inside this Equinox EV. You can see the red stitching in the steering wheel, and then when you're looking over at your circular vents, those seem to be borrowed directly from the Blazer EV. And when you're looking at the door handles, you can see the red ombre look just kind of completes with a cohesive design, but not to be borrowed strictly from another vehicle we've seen already. So the first thing you're going to notice is this big gigantic screen. Over 17 inches of screen. For the screen envy that's going on in the automotive industry right now, I think we got current bragging rights. And you may have some challenges if you're driving something like a GMC Yukon that only has 10 inches. But an Equinox has 17.7 inches. Now, this is the Google built-in that'll come in through here. You get a lot of your icons that we've seen in other vehicles. We've noticed before there was a quick menu over here, but with the EVs and this current Google built-in, your quick menu is more on the top up here. Now, a few things that you're gonna want to know a little bit about. So with this screen, over here you have a little bit more of a menu. If you've ever learned how to turn these vehicles off, there's no physical button, so it's all done through the touchscreen. You see this vehicle off button. With confirmation, you can push that off, and if I did it right now, the whole thing just shuts right down when you open the door. Now, the easy part about these EVs that we've noticed on the Blazer, it's also available on the Silverado, you just put your foot on the brake and everything comes to life. So you can see it's all up and running. But we're currently in park. Now, when you use this new gear selector over here, you pull it towards you, pull it down. One thing that's gonna show up being an EV is now you have your one pedal driving. It's highlighted with the amber, so the system is engaged, and that's how you're gonna get your regenerative braking, when you put on the brakes or when you just let off the gas pedal and the vehicle's gonna slow down for you. We're not here for a test drive, we're here just to show off a couple of the things extra. So with charging as an example, this is something that you're gonna wanna learn when you get into an EV. GM recommends an 80% charge every night, every morning. So you can see here, if you were to charge at 80%, it tells you got 415 kilometers. Right now, over on this side, you can see with our driver information center, right here we're at 71%, and it shows us that we have 369 kilometers to go. When we reach over here at 80%, we're gonna have 415 kilometers worth of range. If you did wanna go higher, Say you wanted 95, you can see you got 493. Everybody wants to know maximum charge. So at 100%, you would get 515 kilometers. That's not recommended for on a daily basis. You would just keep it at 80%, drive 400 kilometers, get charged up again. So one of the things that's really pertinent with EVs is we're talking about range anxiety. How far can I go on a charge? So I'm currently in the Blazer EV, and I'm using this for the purpose of this vehicle's already out of demo mode. What we've done is we've turned the phone into a mobile hotspot. So now let's get into Google Maps. So it's running off of the mobile hotspot. Now, let's say you want to go in a destination. We're here in Ajax. So let's say we wanted to go to, we have 322 kilometers. Let's find a place that's further than 322 kilometers. We're gonna go to Smith Falls, Ontario. So Google Maps has this idea. It'll tell us where we wanna go, but check this out. It tells us that we are going to arrive with -7 battery. So if we wanted to go over there, we're going to out of battery range somewhere in this white little circle area. So we want to do add a charging stop, and it's going to give me a couple of areas. Where do you want to go? You know, Petro Canada, IV charge, something like that. So you got a super fast. It's going to take 25-minute charge to get to the end of the destination. We're going to go to Petro Canada, and now we can drive from Ajax to just outside of Kingston, Ontario, and then we can just go the further on all the way up to Smith Falls. Keeps it real easy. The battery, Google Maps, all your connections works well, so that way you're not going to die on the side of the highway. Again, we're talking about something different with the back end. So you can see they've gone more of this light bar, LED light bar that comes all the way across with a little bit of these dashes that comes across. May not be able to see it too well in the daytime, but in the night, it's actually really stylistic just to show, instead of one continuous bar, they kind of break it up, just makes it look a little different than something else on the road already. So the second most important part when people are looking for an SUV is your cargo carrying capacity. So when the hatch is open on this Equinox EV, you can still see you get a very generous amount of space. This one was ordered with this additional shelf, but if we took this one out, now you can see you still get the cutouts around the wheel wells that we are known for. In a gasoline powered EV, we had a little extra depth here. What we do have is something more of a trunk-like area that goes through there. Remember that when we're talking about with Michael. But you also have spots for your tow hooks, inflator kits, and stuff like that as well. But you can also fold these seats down very easily. So if you did want something a little bit longer, you have a 60-40 split with this back seat. So we're entering a new era for Equinox, but we're not in a new era of EVs. We're at the cusp of what the future is bringing. And right now you can tell with this current look of the Equinox EV, I think they've hit all the parts available. And if you had any questions, just let me know and I'll do my best. As you have a question, I'm forced to go out and find an answer, and it helps me learn too. So come on down, talk to Trent. Let's talk about Equinox EVs.